Welcome to Knit and Crochet Beginner and Beyond. I'm Terry Lynn. How about making your practice crochet into a gift? You can make these cute gift items just by practicing. You can make washcloths, you can make dishcloths, you can make a soap holder. Keep them on hand for last-minute gift giving. The best thing to use would be a cotton, a number 4 medium. And when you have some left and you're wondering what to do with it, make a gift. If you look on your label, this one here recommends an eye hook, and it's a number 4, and it is cotton. This one is a cotton polyester 85-15 mix. So gather up your cotton scraps and a hook, and let's make some gifts. Just so you can compare, I've shown this in one of my other videos. These are all in the single crochet. This one down here is both loops. This one here is back loops, and it'll have a little bit of ribbing to it. And this is front loop only. So you can use any one of these stitches in this demonstration. Even though I'm using a different one, you can use any one of these that you'd like. So both loops, back loop, or front loop, whichever pattern that you might like best, or maybe you could try all 3 on yours. One thing about crochet, you can do what you like. So let me grab my stuff. Okay, I have got my eye hook. Excuse me there. An I9, 5.50 millimeter. And I have my 4 medium weight cotton. Well, it's 85-15 cotton polyester. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to I'm going to go through both loops and just do a regular single crochet. If you want to go through your back loop or your front loop, then you can go ahead and go that way. So first thing you want to do is make a slip knot. Pinch your yarn like that. Go around it. Poke it through the loop you made by going around it. Pull your tail down. This is your tail. It will look like that. Pull up on the loop and the tail. Put your hook in. Pull your working yarn up. This is your working yarn, the long one. And then leave a little bit of a gap on this first one. Otherwise it gets too tight and you can't find it. I am going to attempt to just pull out of the yarn the way it is and not rewind it into a ball. So we'll see how that works out. Then what you want to do is chain as many as you want your project wide. Excuse me. So just go ahead, and what you should do is write down on a notebook how many chain you're making if you want to make a couple of these that are the same. And I have some videos about how to make a chain, but just go pull through, go through, go through like that. And then if you want to be a little more accurate, you can actually use a ruler. And if you want, however wide you want it to be on your ruler, you make your chain. And I think I'm probably going to do 20, but let me see what I'm going to do. If you're new, pinch your chain, pull through your loop, move up, pinch your chain, pull through your loop, move up, pinch and pull. That'll make it a lot more straight and even. Okay, I'll get my chain and be right back and tell you how many I did. Okay, so I am going to do 25, chain 25, and that's going to be about 8 inches. It's going to be a little, it says 7 here, but it's going to be a little bit larger once you get going. Then what I want you to do is, on this very first chain, put a marker right through that one right there. If you don't have a stitch marker, just take and put a piece of yarn through there, and you'll have a different piece of colored yarn that goes through there. So either way, mark it, because this one has a tendency to disappear on you. Okay, so once you have your chain made, the yarn that's on the hook doesn't count as a stitch, but the one that it's going through counts. So this would be your number 1 stitch when you're counting. This one behind it would be number 2. You want to go through number 2 and hook onto your yarn and pull through. Then you can see that this one is full, so you want to go to the next one that isn't full. You're just going to make these single crochets and kind of do these loose, because on the end it can tend to be too tight as you go along. Then move down to the next one, the third one, go through, and then go through both. Now, I crochet with my yarn under my hook. This is yarn over your hook, and that's the way most people crochet. I crochet yarn under, so go ahead and do your yarn over if that's the way that you crochet. Go through your next one, and then make your stitch. And you can see that one's full. Go to the next one. The next one, and if you look at these, you can see empty, 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 empty. And this one here is full. It has a stitch in there. You can see the yarn is in there. So go to the next one that doesn't have the yarn in it. And do this all the way down to the end, and then come back. What I also want to say is hold your chain kind of tight when you go through. So go through there, and then when you pull, hold your chain tight so that the pull comes from, I went through both loops there. So go through there like that, and hang on to this tight so the pull comes from out of your yarn ball. Having trouble with this stitch right here. It doesn't want to cooperate. Okay, come on, little fella. Give that a twist, get it back in shape. There we go. You can see this one's trying to pull a little tighter. This first chain does this. It gets pulling tight. So when you go in and you go over that yarn, pinch on this so it's pulling on this yarn and not pulling on your chain so much. Because you want to keep this chain a little bit loose, or the end of your cloth will be extra tight on one side. So pinch on this so that it's pulling on that yarn up there and not pulling on the chain. I hope that helps you. Go in, grab your yarn, give it a little shake so it pulls from the yarn ball. And just take your time, get in the right spots. So you have, if you look at here, this is where it gets kind of tricky if you didn't mark it. So you have your stitch here, and then you have your stitch there. So go in this one, give that a yank, and you might not be able to recognize that one right there. So you almost think you're done. You're like, oh good, I'm there. Well, you're not. This stitch marker is marking that stitch right there. So you go into this one, and then when you pull it, it should all even up. Because the other way it looked like it was even, if you don't know. So get that last stitch and then pull. And you'll see that it goes straight across like that. Okay, made it to the end. chain 1, turn, and you're going to go right underneath. So this is where you got to make up your mind, front loop, back loop, or both loops. I'm going to do both loops. If you want to do back loop, you're going to go back here and keep making your washcloth that way. If you want to do front loop, you go up here, and I showed you in the beginning what they're going to look like with each of those loops. I'm going to go through both loops. You can just go through, make your first stitch, and then now, whether you're going to do back, front, or both, that's what you're going to be doing all the way down. Like I said, I'm going to do both on this. I want to have a little tighter, heavier washcloth. So you do your back, front, or both, and then go all the way down, and I'll meet you at the other end. Okay, as I'm getting closer to the end, you can see this one's full, and you have to look from the top. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And so and if you're doing back loop or front loop, then you go into your appropriate loop that you have picked out. Just keep using that loop. And now we get down here, and you can see there's a bump right there. And that's the loop, the stitch that's coming up. And that's kind of like a little, I call it a little stop sign. Because once you hit that, then if you look, it goes across pretty even. If you were to stop one short, it might still kind of look like it's even, but it has a little ear here. So if you kind of train your eye to get too used to seeing it being even across, then you want to chain 1 and turn and go right back down into the space that's right there, right below. Go into that space. Then you can, if you're going in both, you can see right through there where they are. And you can just continue on down. And whether you're using your front or your back loop, just continue doing that, and then you got to figure out how many rows you want to make. Okay, so you've did a bunch of rows, and you got down to the corner where you're going to chain 1. You can stop there if you think it's looking pretty square, and you can check by taking and folding your work up and making it into a triangle, and that would mean that it's square. And it maybe not be perfect, but these are just little washcloths for gifts. If that's the case, what you would do is go ahead and tie off on this corner, and then you will have your project done. I went ahead and already tied mine off. This is a demonstration piece right here. And there you will have your cute little washcloth that you could then put a ribbon on it. Maybe make 2 of them. Make them in different colors. And they look really cute. Keep these as a little item in a stash somewhere. You can match them up with a soap holder, and that would be very nice. Just give a nice little 2-pack. So take your scraps, make them into some cute little items. Keep them stashed around in your house somewhere, wherever you keep your little stash of stuff. And if you have to have a quick item to give somebody, you have a really nice homemade item that you can give somebody that they will really appreciate. Thank you for watching. I'm Terry Lynn, and I hope to see you soon. Have a good, happy crochet day. Thank you.